Friends, what is happening? Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have Marvel Legends Captain America Sam Wilson Build-A-Figure version. A few words on the Falcon and Falcon Cap. I'm not a huge Falcon fan. Personally, I like Black Panther better. I like Captain America better. Steve Rogers. Falcon was always just a really great sidekick. I felt like the show really did like a, I don't know, they just make really weird choices. For example, we have Tony Stark who has this Iron Man suit. It makes him pretty much invulnerable for the most part. Rhodey has one too. He has tons of Iron Man suits. He's constantly producing him. And then we have Falcon in basically a glider harness with minimal protection, like flying around like a crazy person who could just be killed so easily. And in the comic books, he is portrayed as a little bit more superheroic. And even in the Heroes Reborn Captain America storyline, Steve gives him a blood transfusion and he kind of gets the super soldier serum a little bit. So he's enhanced. To me, it just doesn't make sense for him from a superhero perspective. I want my superheroes to have powers besides Batman and Robin. Those are the only other people who get a pass because Batman has such a huge mythology. But people like Falcon, who in a universe where there's Iron Man and he has the Iron Man suit, I just have a hard time suspending disbelief all the way up to this point that this guy was just flying around hardcore in this harness suit without a helmet, mind you. That drives me crazy. He doesn't even have a helmet. He just has goggles. So, like, if you know anything about aviation, like, they have the flight suits and the oxygen masks so they don't pass out because of the G-force. He has none of that. Tony Stark has that. So he just makes no sense to me. And they tried to improve on it in the end of the show when he gets a Wakandan suit. So I assume the suit is made out of vibranium. That's fine. But he still doesn't have a helmet, and he still doesn't have oxygen, and he still doesn't have superhuman strength and endurance, and he's at the peak of superhuman levels like Captain America is. That's another thing about the shield, is like, how can he throw the shield? I know the shield is special, but like, he just has that pinpoint accuracy. He can throw it in the geometric fashion that Cap has practiced like his whole life to do. Falcon just frustrates me. But enough on that. Let's get on to this action figure, because this Build-A-Figure looked awesome. It looks fantastic, and for that alone, I had to get this figure. However, talking about the mythology and the universe, I really wish they would have spent time on the Isaiah Bradley story, that Captain America, and go back and show his backstory. That would have been awesome. I mean, to me, Sam is just boring. Sam is boring. Bucky is interesting. The Winter Soldier is interesting. Isaiah Bradley is interesting. I want to see my superheroes with superpowers or super genius or whatever. Sam is he's a nice, wholesome guy, but he doesn't have the gravitas or the buildup of Steve Rogers or Chris Evans, who just made these characters iconic. And for them to come in and try and replace them with like a bland version of Steve Rogers, I think did just a lot of disservice to Captain America. But anyhow, the action figure looks awesome. I was very excited to get it. So let's get into this. So I just got the Build-A-Figure itself. I didn't want all the toys in the line, so I just purchased it on eBay for a good price and just got him like this. And he looks great. But however, I'm a little bit disappointed in a few things. So I'm going to take him off of his stand, and let's first get into, I'll take the shield off and let's talk about the shield for a moment. So, this isn't a bad shield. I just think it's a little bit oversized. For whatever reason, they had stuck with this mold of the shield for a while. Actually, this shield is actually just a hair smaller than this is the endgame cap, the battle damage endgame cap shield, and this is the shield they've been using. And this is a new sculpt, so it's actually a little bit smaller. It even has the details on the inside, in the silver, what should be white area. That's what it looks like on the inside. The straps are even a different color. So they did actually upgrade the shield. This is the shield that they've been using for a while, and I just felt like this shield was too big. Here is the very original Toy Biz shield, which is the same size as this shield, but it's a little bit smoother, so it just looked nicer to me. This was always my favorite shield, but this is the comic book shield. This is the current Captain America comic book shield that they've been using, and I think this one's perfect. It's significantly smaller than these shields, so there's a big difference there, if you guys can see that. But this has been my favorite shield so far. They were actually using this movie shield for a while. This has been like repainted a bunch of times, but when the movies first came out and they started making movie figures, they were using this shield, but I guess they felt it was too small. So this is the U.S. Agent Shield. This is the mold they were using, though, for a while. And they decided to stop using this shield. So this was too small. This one's still just a little bit too big for me, but that's just my personal opinion. But that's what we have there with the shield. So let's get on to the figure itself. It comes with tons of accessories through the Build-A-Figure pack. You have to get Vision, Scarlet Witch, Baron Zemo, U.S. Agent, I think Loki, and Sam. I might be missing one figure in order to build the Sam Wilson Captain America, but he looks great. He's a really beautiful figure. I love the colors. I love the detail in the suit. It is a nice looking flight suit, sort of reminiscent of Captain America, the first Avenger movie suit. Looks a lot like that in texture and sort of like bulkiness. He's very bulky. Look at the detail on the boots there. So it looks like there's little booster jets there, even in the boots. This belt moves. It's a separate piece, so it's not sculpted in there. So he looks really good. There's his face. Look at you. They even like sculpted the detail on the mask, the cowl. So look at that. It just makes no sense to me why this isn't a helmet. Like, he could so easily be picked off by a supervillain or just like an assassin. Just one headshot and boom, he's done. It makes absolutely no sense. So that was infuriating to me. They could have sculpted this in like a bird cowl or like a Batman cowl or a Cap cowl. I think that was a very bad choice, in my opinion, and gave him like a clear mask so you could see his like chin. Just don't like this. And I just think it's so impractical. Iron Man would just crush him. But anyhow, that's what he looks like from the back. There's the bottom. Articulation is pretty good. Nice split on the legs. We got the double jointed knees so we can get him in a good tuck position. Nice jump kick pose there. So if he's doing like a full like jump front kick or something like that. Nice dynamic poses with the legs. We got the hinge in the ankle, pivot. Legs are always important to me on action figures. I love them to have the double jointed knees. That's a huge selling point for me all the time. Full rotation in the hips, major crunch in the abs, go back and forward. So he has great crunch. The bad thing about the articulation on this figure is the shoulders. We have minimal shoulder articulation in the sense that he can't get his arms all the way up because of the bulkiness there. There is the star on the shoulder pad. So we can't get him into like sort of like a spread eagle with his arms like flying pose, which is kind of a bummer because Falcon should have lots of range of movement in his arms traditionally for his harness. We have double jointed elbows, but you only really need the one joint. I don't even think this one can move. It's stuck on mine, so I don't want to break it. But it's unnecessary anyhow, and the bicep's going to get it in the way, so that's fine. He has open hands. No tips on the gloves either, which I think is a little bit impractical as well, especially because this is a guy who's flying around all the time. So he needs full gloves to protect his fingers so he doesn't get the tips of his fingers cut off. Let's see what else. So there's the head sculpt. I felt like too, this prevents they could have made his head go up a little bit more, but it's not bad. Also with the torso, you can get him in a good head pose. He's on the ball joint, so, it's the double ball joint actually. So there's lots of range of movement there. The standard figure, he comes with just, I think the little backpack where the wings are housed inside of there. So there's that. You guys get a good look at that. So let's get a good look at these wings. Like, this figure really excited me because of the wings, but unfortunately, guys, hopefully I'm going to save you guys some money and say not invest in this unless you're a serious fan, because these wings are so cheap and flimsy. I had to like bend them like really hardcore so that they would just stay in place. These aren't tight at all, at least on mine. Maybe you guys got lucky. And the wing movement is very minimal. That's as far as I can get in the articulation of the wings, is that far. That's a real bummer. Also, here's his red wing drone, which is nice because it ports on here in the back, like right in this corner. And I forget what figure comes. I think it's Loki maybe, who comes with this stand and red wing. And so you get this nice little stand that you can put them on, which is cool. And there's the Red Wing drone. Here is the original Red Wing, which was an actual bird, which is an actual falcon that he was buddies with. This is a Toy Biz version. So anyhow, I guess they didn't want to make it cheesy and they wanted to make it updated and all techie and so on and so forth. Whatever. I'm an old man now, getting old. I like things cheesy sometimes. I miss the cheese. Everything just has to be so stressful and political these days, and I just don't want to hear about any of that stuff anymore. I just want to really enjoy my comic book movies in peace and not be preached at. But anyhow, so here is the articulation of the wings. So you can get it into that protecting sort of shield pose, which is awesome. That's really cool. It's just, see, my look at how easy that just like fell apart for me. So that's just like, I have to remold these so they're tight. So stick them under hot water or a hair dryer, and then put them under cold, and hopefully that'll reshape. See, these wings are falling apart on me right now because I'm trying to show you guys this. But yeah, so hopefully that'll fix it and make it tighter. But these wings are really loose and flimsy and cheap, and that's kind of frustrating. Hopefully Mafex will do a version of this and it'll be way better. Or Bandai, either one. They do good job, either company. I prefer Mafex though. They have better scale and the figures just look better. I think they're the best 6-inch action figures around, are the Mafex. But yeah, he looks great, and here are the cool wings. And it was such a jerk thing for Hasbro to do when they released the comic book version of Falcon Cap, and they didn't provide the wings. They just provided the figure without the wings. Like, how frustrating is that? But here he is. So I'm going to put the wings down just to give you guys a comparison. Here he is with... This is Toy Biz, Captain America. This is just a head swap, though. This is the Ultimates version. And that's Steve Rogers. Kind of looks like Paul Newman. Here he is compared to comic book version US Agent. Love this figure. Sorry, I'm going to tighten up for you guys there so you can see the size, how he scales. I like to do head swaps of my figures and kind of just customize my figures, but this is the anniversary Captain America body mold with the Endgame Captain America's cowl, hammer, and gloves. But I love this sculpt. This Captain America figure is beautiful. Love it. But there he is with Chris Evans and Mjolnir. And here is with the classic Toy Biz version of Falcon. This figure is just a mess. Like, this is just so crazy. Overly articulated. The harness is just weird. You know, it was a really awesome figure at the time, but too much articulation. And last but not least is... I think this is my favorite Falcon figure that they've made, is the current comic book version, or maybe a couple versions ago. They just change their costumes all the time now. Falcon. And this guy looks terrific. And I love how you can detach the harness from the arms on this Falcon. So I think this is my favorite Falcon figure. But there's the Anthony Mackie version. I mean, he, like I said, he is a great character, but he's a great sidekick. Just the part in Endgame when he says "on your left," calling back to the Winter Soldier film of Steve Rogers and his first meeting. What an amazing moment. Just incredible. But he just doesn't do it for me. He's not a suitable replacement for Captain America, but man, what a great action figure. So if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. I don't know, man. These wings are cheap and flimsy, and they fall apart. So beware, but the figure is great. I'm going to have to do some finagling, unfortunately. If you like the video, like and subscribe. God bless you all. Peace.